Welcome. I'm your host, Dustin.
And I'm also Dustin.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm so happy every time we do this because it's such a rare opportunity or
Yeah,
even like a rare occasion where there's two
dude.
Dustins.
I've told you I've only known four in my life, and now we are half of that. So
Yes. Hell yeah, man. But
yeah.
we have such an awesome episode today. We have some of the creators, actors, directors, part of I think our new favorite like Halloween movie that we're gonna be adding every
Oh,
single year.
dude, it's a vibe. That movie. You know what? Where's this at? Give me this.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I did have orange, but my it gets way too dark in here.
Wait, you know what? I got to do this now too.
Oh, there
Oh
it is.
yes, let's
Domino
do it.
effect.
Oh, if we're all gonna be
Yeah.
changed. Oh, you guys, you
I
talked
forgot
me
I had
into
my.
it. You talked me into it.
Might as well. I
You
gotta do
talked me into it. We're we're oranged up in here. Um,
go.
but yeah, we're here to talk to Matt Sampere and Tyler Sutton. You guys are the creators behind Creeping Death. Matt, you were the lead in it, which I always think it's so crazy and inspiring for the people who are directing, writing, and also being a big star in the film. I think that's amazing.
Thank you. That was not one of my brightest decisions, but it got us across the finish line. I mean,
Yeah.
doing this, taking on so many different parts of this project was definitely a huge undertaking. I think that's the word I wanted to say. Yeah. Anyways, it was going into your first feature, not only just directing it, but then also playing the lead. I mean, that was something I never want to do anything like that again. But I wanted to make a movie. I wanted to act in it, and I'm like, okay, what happens if we lose our main actor and we had somebody else and we have reshoots? I've been working on this thing for 7 years, and I'm like,
Wow.
Wow.
we need somebody else. If we miss a day, there's always issues when problems that arise when you're making a movie, and I'm like, okay, who one can we have for as long as we need them to shoot this thing, and two, who can work for cheap? Me.
Yourself.
Wear multiple hats. Sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this is like I said, it's like super inspiring. I've had other people on the show with interviews where they've done exactly what you've done, and they say the exact same thing that you say. It's like, yeah, I should not have done that. But
Yeah.
in order to get something done that's such a big, obviously passion project for you, you want to make sure it's coming out good, and you want to, like you're saying, be there, be available. Having people who are available, I think, is extremely important. But it's awesome to have you and Tyler here, and we're going to dive into even some more questions here. But before I ask anything, Dustin, you have anything you want to say?
Oh yeah. No. So how you were just talking about the 7 years it took you to make this, and you guaranteeing you guys wanted to be there. Like that was when I was watching this, and I made the comment on our episode about it. You can absolutely see the love that's put into this movie.
Yes.
Literally shot by shot, the everything, just you can just tell that this was someone's passion project, i.e. you, Matt. It was phenomenal. Like I've been hyped ever since Screambox kind of like dropped the first inkling of this movie. One, because it's a Halloween movie. It's scared, it's the spooks, it's getting into the season. But once I watched it, man, you guys killed it. Like it was absolutely awesome. It's 100%, like Dustin said, it's gonna go into the fall rotation. My show, the Flicks and Friends episode, is gonna come out on Thursday about it. And me and my co-host over there, Mikey, said the same exact thing. He loved it. So I'm gonna send you guys that episode here shortly after this. Now that I think about it, because I finished it today. But you guys will get the preview of my stuff too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Seriously is awesome, and Screenbox has been such a joy for everything. But before we start diving into that, Tyler, how are you doing? What was your role in all this? Matt's over there, working literally 24/7,
Absolutely.
directing, writing, all that stuff. So where did you come into play?
So I come into play. I was supporting Matt. Matt has so many hats to wear, and obviously it takes a village to make a film. And,
Hmm.
I'm just so honored to have Matt reach out to me and bring me on board, and anything that he needed, I was his right hand man. So
There you go.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm a producer. I did a little camera assist on the production, so it was fun to get behind the camera and help with some dolly shots and
I do
Tyler,
have to say, on top of that, oh, sorry, Matt. The
yeah.
camera work is amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, there's a lot that I really, really liked about this movie.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much. It means so much to us.
Yeah, we had our DP Jonathan Lee. He was fresh out of film school,
Yep.
and I went to film school. I graduated in 2019, and the VFX professor at that school, her and I always stayed in touch, and she knew I was doing this movie. And she's like, "Hey, you should talk to the student. He's really good." And I'm like, I don't know, do I want to work with someone right out of college? I mean, I've only been out of college a couple of years at this point, and then I saw his work. And I was like, okay, like this guy's got some chops, and we got together, and he read the script before we had our first meeting. Um, and like that seizure scene, like there were a lot of scenes in this film that some of it that actually didn't make in the movie, but like I knew exactly how I wanted them to look when I wrote it. And he came to this first meeting, kind of storyboarding out a lot of these scenes, kind of pulling examples from other films, and said, "This is what I think." And immediately I was like, oh my God, dude, we need you to do this. Like, you know exactly how I want to see it. And I don't even need to tell you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene was really intense. I've never really been around anything like that, but seeing it like on screen was crazy. There's a lot of things in this film I think are very important to talk about, especially with the son and the mother and what she was going through. And like we talked about in our episode of, I thought in the beginning, with your character that you were the one that was sick, and then you linked it more. It's like it's the mom. So now there's this big heavy weight on top of him. Obviously he wants to be with his friends. I mean, who doesn't want to go out and have a good time with their friends and whatnot? But then, having this really difficult choice of being like, yeah, I have to miss out on a lot of this stuff to, take care of my mom who's really, really sick. And I thought it was so impactful, and like that kind of carried throughout the entire film of like realizing that the main character had so much on his plate, so many things he was trying to juggle, and you really did a great job carrying everything. Like Dustin and I talked about this. A few choice people in there where you were like, let's get this guy out of here, like right now.
Oh, I do. I'll bring him up later.
But yeah, just like the overall tones of like emotions that were like put into this film, I thought you nailed. And the whole supporting cast, and Tyler, you doing things behind the scenes, like everything was not wasted or didn't feel like, oh, you just threw it in there just to kind of have it. And I really tip my hat to that, because with indie films, a lot of times there's some filler in there just to kind of get the runtime or
Yeah.
make something seem interesting. This
Absolutely.
didn't have any of that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was our initial. We were actually told originally it was too long.
Really?
It didn't feel like it. You know what I mean? Like, or at least the product we got to watch,
This is you guys are actually the first, I think you're the first we're talking to since anyone has seen the final version.
Oh, wow.
We
Yeah.
actually we premiered this at Fright Fest last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was working around the clock with my post team out in I'm in LA, Tyler's in New York. But I was working with a lot of people out here trying to get it ready because we got into Fright Fest, and that was huge. I'd never had a film in a film festival before.
It
So
was our first time submitting to a film festival, and that was the very first film festival that we submitted to.
And Fright Fest is a good one. Like that's huge.
The first one was the big one. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
And,
always it's on the bucket list, for us.
Oh, sure.
So we were like, we were kind of not rushing, but I was trying to get it. I wanted, like, when we were playing Fright Fest, I'm like, all right, the movie's done by Fright Fest. And we were just rushing around the clock to like get it colored, get the mix, get the score, everything, all the VFX. And we got it to Fright Fest, and it was a interesting experience for us. When you're working on a movie at home, you're working on your own computer, wherever, maybe you're watching on your TV. It plays one way.
Yeah.
When you see it in IMAX, you start seeing all the gaping holes that are there. Oh, we should fix this, this, and this. And a lot of it came down to we didn't really have an opening scene. The movie originally started right on the
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
And so I was like, oh my God, this starts so slow. No one knows what the hell's going on for 30, 40 minutes into the movie. They don't know if it's even a monster movie at all. And so
Yeah.
after Fright Fest, I mean, Tyler kind of left with our head in our hands. We were like, what are we doing with this thing? Like, do we just, I wanted to, both of us, I think, wanted to walk away from it. I'm like, we came so far.
Yeah.
Since the festival, shot the new opening scene, shot new inserts, new VFX,
Yeah.
new score, color, sound design, redid the whole movie. So you guys are like the first to really talk to us about it, to watch it, to experience the final version that is, now out there, and that's gonna be on SCREAMBOX. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What an honor, honestly.
And I've said it a couple times. I can't wait for people to see this movie now.
Yeah.
Like, just-
7 days and counting.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited. Tyler and I, the other day, I know we messaged you. We were like a little afraid. We're like, oh God, what were they gonna say? Because again, after Fright Fest, we really
Many heart to hearts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this a couple times on this show, and I've talked to Dustin about this a lot. I don't go to the theaters to see studio horror anymore. I just can't do it. I will go to the one shot independent horror all day. I support indie horror. When I go, we have a convention down here called Spooky Empire down in Florida.
Oh yeah.
And that's my favorite part, is the film festival part, because I get to watch the labor of their love, and it's like, do I care that it's not backed by Blumhouse or, whatever? No, I don't care. Like, what I care about is I get to watch a final product that someone's super proud of.
Yeah.
And that's what I've said it again earlier, that I could tell you guys by the end of what we watched, just super proud. And Dustin and I fucking loved everything we seen in this movie.
Hell yeah, dude. You're speaking for me.
We are one Dustin.
We really are. So I kind of want to take it back just for a second. And Tyler, I'll start with you first.
Okay.
So one thing that I do like to ask on the show when I'm interviewing people is to kind of see where things began with you, like before you started filming things or doing anything within what you're doing now. What kind of brought you to want to do film?
It really was acting at first.
Oh, really?
I grew up in a military family, moved around a lot, and my mom and my dad were really supportive of getting me into the arts. And I was always big on performing to the family and doing skits and stuff like that. So I really thought I would be an actor. And so went from doing theater to doing short films and getting into more independent films. My senior year, I was in a slasher film running around with a chainsaw in the woods. And
Hell yeah.
Sure, hell yeah.
I had that bug pretty early on, but really, film has always been a love of mine since childhood. And growing up and getting a whole bunch of DVDs and listening to the audio commentaries on them really inspired me to want to do it. And unfortunately, a lot of like teachers and friends just didn't think it was that serious. And I had a lot of people just tell me not to pursue it, not to do it. And so I was just like, no, this is my love and this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. So
more power to you, man. And look where you are now.
Absolutely. Matt really, I was in a creative rut at the time, and Matt bringing me on board for Creeping Death really just lit a fire under my ass. It's like,
Yeah, man.
I'm doing it with the right people, and we're going to make a kick-ass movie. So
what I want to add to Tyler too is this motherfucker. So when we met,
this son of a bitch.
So he was, when I did an Indiegogo to raise a lot of the funding for this film, and Tyler and I, we worked on a project years prior together, but we didn't really know each other. But he was sharing the Indiegogo every day. He was donating to it, and we didn't really know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then right about when we started shooting, he's like, "Man, if you need anything, I'd love to be there." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, come on out." And he was working a full-time job back in New York. We're shooting 12 hours a day. He lives over an hour away from where we were shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come to set, work 12 hours, and then leave set at 6 a.m. because we were on nights. He'd be like, "I got to go to work at 8 a.m. He would leave, go to work at 8 a.m., sleep for like an hour, and then come back to set and hang out with us for 12 hours. And I'm just like, his passion for this and his loyalty, like, I mean, him being there saved this project, because just any little thing that came up, like he's always right there, and like, man, I thought I was fucking tired. I don't know how he did it.
A lot of coffee and
Living the
energy
dream, bro.
drinks.
I'm living the dream. A lot of energy
Yep.
drinks. Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. I got my coffee right here. I can't go a day without it. I have way too many coffees.
Oh man, I just noticed you have Matt. You have a Pumpkinhead 2 poster behind you, and that movie rules.
And Pumpkinhead 1.
I can't see the dude.
You know what?
That's
You beat me to it. I was gonna say something about it later.
dude. That's gonna lead into one of my questions eventually. But man, those movies rip.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, that's so sick.
You're already damned at Harley. So good.
But I'm moving the question over to you, Matt. Like, what kind of sparked your fire to want to go ahead and make movies?
I mean, it kind of started at a young age. Growing up, I always wanted to do something kind of artsy and creative. I mean, music kind of was a driving force. Film didn't really feel real. I guess neither of them really seemed realistic at some point. But like growing up, my dad was showing me Jaws, Jurassic Park, the Godzilla movies, and he would show me like some of the behind the scenes stuff. I was like Tyler, I would watch the bonus features on like the Jurassic Park DVD and see how they did that, and I'm like, I want to do that. And
Yeah.
none of my teachers were like, oh, that's a real job, you can't do that. You should focus on this. I had a teacher tell me I never make it in this industry, period. And anyways, that at a young age, just always wanted to do this, but I didn't think you could unless you really had like money. I'd only really seen big studio films at this point.
Yeah.
And Tyler and I have a mutual friend who's a really big horror fan, and he kind of introduced me to the more kind of indie style stuff, and just showed me how people are kind of doing this on their own. He introduced me to like the Adam Green's movies and Joe Lynch's movies, and a lot of
I love those dudes.
Hell yeah, dude.
so cool. And they were a huge inspiration for us. And it wasn't, again, I wasn't even attempting to really do anything until about 7-8 years ago. My uncle took me, my family was on a vacation to Martha's Vineyard, or not Martha's Vineyard, Cape Cod. And it was like an hour ferry ride to Martha's Vineyard where they filmed Jaws, which had
Hell
always
yeah.
been a movie. And so my uncle and I, we were doing nothing one day. He's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I filmed Jaws, just over there. I'm over there.
Over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way we could go. Like it was way too expensive just to get over there. And he's like, screw it, let's go. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And so we went over to Martha's Vineyard. One of the guys that was an extra in Jaws does his own little Jaws tour. And so we booked that guy, and the guy showed us all the Jaws locations. And that, to me, like, once you're seeing like these locations in real life, like, at first I thought Jaws was filmed in the middle of the ocean with nothing around. And then you're like, oh, they're only like, 50 feet off the shoreline.
Yeah.
And you start seeing like how you start realizing how the camera is tricking people and whatnot. And then that made me think like, man, I want to try to do this. And I looked at my uncle, I said, I want to try and go to film school and really give this a real shot. And he's like, go for it. And so I went back to, when the vacation ended, I started looking at trying to get into the film program in Syracuse, and the head of the program basically looked at my grades and he's like, no.
Oh man.
And, it took I ended up there's so much to say, would kind of let it here, but yeah, it was really just seeing those movies at such a young age and then getting to visit some of my favorite horror movie locations really made me realize just, oh, this is obtainable. Like, maybe you don't need to have all the money in the world, but if you have an idea and you have a camera and you have people around you, then you can do it. And that's exactly how this thing came together.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I live in Massachusetts, so I've been there a lot. So
Awesome.
Seeing the tour and everything, and yeah, it's beautiful place to go, even if you're just visiting. I live a little bit south of Boston, but,
Okay.
so not too far.
Just don't ask him to hang out with you when you're in Boston.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up. No, life happens.
No, I'm just kidding, dude.
That's awesome to hear both of your stories and to see where it all kind of came from. That's one thing that I personally like hearing from these interviews, is where things kind of started where you are now and whatnot. It's inspiring for other people who listen to the show that want to go and make movies and be like, yeah, just pick up a camera, or even like what I say a lot is just use your phone. Your phones are so
Yeah.
good now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a little bit of like get a nice ring light, put it somewhere, and you can make a horror movie in like a day if you really wanted to, if you got that drive, you know.
Yeah.
Almost Roger Corman style. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But that's like just to piggyback on what you were saying, Matt. Like today, with today's day and age, it's like we're fortunate enough to have like Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff like that, to where you have like-minded folk who want to like see these movies that you are talking about that will gladly, just throw some money. Which if I had known, dude, I absolutely would have. But like I said, man, I'm stoked. And then are you cool with my question, Dustin? Am I
Yep,
good
go right
to
ahead.
roll in? Do you think this movie will ever reach physical status?
Yeah, we've been into, well, one, I have to, because for our Indiegogo, that was one of our perks. So I definitely want to get this goal. But
Okay,
we
good.
are talking with SCREAMBOX about, hopefully, I don't know how much I can say. But the
Tell us
plan-
all.
Yeah, give
the
me the
plan-
tea.
The plan is hopefully there's talks of sometime before Halloween, hopefully having something.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to do an even bigger physical release after that at some point too. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
still working out the details with them. But yes, the physical is definitely on the menu. That will be
Okay,
coming.
good, because it belongs in my collection.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's what
Yeah,
we like to-
I
Thank you.
am. And then is it just Blu-ray? Are you guys thinking about doing VHS because that's a really big boom right now? Or
I would like to. I mean, wherever we can get it, it would be so awesome to have a VHS of it. I'd love to do that. Right now Blu-ray's in talks. I'd love to do UHD because we shot this in 6K.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
No, why it's so beautiful.
Yeah, we did, honestly. I'm so glad we did, because we delivered in 4K. So we do have a UHD one, so it'd be awesome to do a 4K release. But shooting it was actually 5.7K we shot in. But it helped us out so much because we were such a small team, we didn't always have the gear we needed. And it's like, if you want to do like a cool dolly in shot, sometimes we didn't have time to do that. So shooting a 5.7, being able to reframe and post and create some digital movements and stuff like that really helped us a lot. So, but having that extra resolution was really like key for us with this.
cool. Hell yeah.
VHS, I would love to do something like that.
That'd be so cool.
Hell yeah.
I have a few friends I can shoot your way.
Yeah, no, I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess that kind of leads into a question that I'm always curious too about the SCREAMBOX movies. Is like they must have picked you up at Fright Fest, right?
So we spoke with them before Fright Fest.
Oh really?
Even have the thing finished. We showed them a rough cut, and they're like, "Oh, we want it." And I was like, "Okay."
Cool.
And then so that was long before Fright Fest that we've been talking with them.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Well, congrats for you guys getting that secured even before you could show it to anybody. That's amazing. SCREAMBOX has been giving so many great opportunities with indie filmmakers for was it almost like 3 years now since they kind of like revamped everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so many great films on there and people I've been able to chat with, like the both of you, and to see your amazing films. So that's why I love SCREAMBOX so much, is because of how much they give to everybody. They want everybody to be happy, and they just want people to watch movies.
Right. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
need to know which one of you guys really likes candy corn, because
yes, that's my guy.
I'm sitting there watching this.
I'm
I'm
right
like,
there with you. Not too much. Just a little bit. It gets me in the right mood for Halloween. And
Hell yeah, man.
I'm
like
sitting there.
Way to go, Tyler.
What's that, Matt?
I said I like looking at it like it's a cool decoration.
Matt has it as a prop now in his office.
Actually, this is candy corn.
Yes.
Yeah, but man, I was looking at it, I was like, God,
Where's the bucket?
Oh yeah.
that's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Wait, I got cream savers in here. No candy.
There you
Oh,
go.
those are great too.
That's grandma's candy.
Oh, shut up.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, she reached in her pocketbook and she has cream savers. I'm not complaining. It's like those strawberry candies, dude. You don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, candy corn, tight. And then I'm like, and I'm like talking to all these other people, and they're like, I love candy corn. I'm like, where do you guys exist at for liking candy corn, man? So it was just a joke that I was running with Dustin. I talked to Mikey about it, but candy corn's not my jam. I can't do it.
I'll
nothing
have
wrong
a
with
couple pieces just on occasion because, well, when it's Halloween. But other than that, I'm not really seeking it out.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh man, you're missing out. You gotta have your belly full of wax.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Dude, Mikey was last night. He was like, "Well, when I was a kid, I used to eat those wax lips, so I guess that's why I like candy corn." I'm like, Mikey, all right, dude.
I remember those. You were supposed to eat those?
I don't know.
No, you
I
weren't.
Mikey did.
Well, no, those are not. I mean, it's just wax. I mean, it's not really going to hurt you, but no, you're not supposed to.
I mean,
Oh
might as
my
well just
God.
eat candles at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, seriously, I'll go grab some candles right now and start munching.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, man.
on a serious though, from one of my questions, and this is kind of touching on these posters. Tyler, do you have a favorite type of like movie monster that inspired you to make movie monsters?
As far as monsters go, Pumpkinhead obviously is an easy one to go to. Victor Crowley, I'm a huge Hatchet fan.
Yeah.
Hatchet really inspired me to want to make films. And then for slashers, Leatherface, The Mask.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Are huge inspirations. So
Cool. Matt, what about you, man?
I mean, Pumpkinhead has always been my favorite, but
My
Jason,
top 5.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
guys are all, I have no, you can't see, I'll show you, but I mean, I've got so many just Michael Myers masks, kind of like you little D. Or
The little D. Got him.
Hell yes. Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, we have Michael Myers, all those guys. I mean, it's weird to pick like a favorite. Now Art the Clown is definitely up there. Like,
Oh yeah, he's made his presence known, really.
yes,
Can't wait for
yeah.
3.
If not for that movie, those guys were such a huge influence to me, I think, in wanting to make this movie. I remember seeing All Hallows Eve on the shelves at Walmart. God, how long ago was that first one? 12 years ago, 10 years ago, something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
been a while, yeah.
Yeah.
No one knew what I didn't know what it was. I'm like, this clown looks so scary. I've never heard of this movie, but screw it, I'm gonna buy it and give it a shot. And you could tell right off the bat it wasn't a huge studio film, but it had a vibe to it, it had a style. It pulled me in. And when I saw those guys were doing the spin-off, I'm like, I love this. I got to see what they're doing. And to see these guys really like making their way, like, I'm so glad it's found a place because they fucking earned it. And that, and those guys, if not for those guys making that movie and kind of paving the way, this movie wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have even attempted to try and do something.
and mind blown that Terrifier 3 is out next month.
I know, right?
I'm so
Insane.
ready for that. And the fact that they pumped out Stream like right before it, I'm like, man, Stream was a ton of fun. If you guys get a chance to see that,
I'd like to. I missed it.
Me too.
It was.
I had one showing and then it got canceled on me because there wasn't enough people buying it, which sucked.
Yeah, it was playing like literally right around the corner from my place, and I was like, all right, I'll catch it in like the next day or two, and then it wasn't there anymore. I'm like,
Yeah, it sucked, man. Sucked.
Yeah, as soon as I seen it, I was like, I have to buy a ticket like right now. I have to, because where I'm at, it's like, I get very little indie horror, and when I do get it, I go like Satanic Hispanics was in theaters around me, Oddity, Long Legs.
Oddity, I did see in theaters. And
Oddity ruled.
Yeah,
man.
Very unsettling.
Yeah.
I don't think I heard of that one.
Oddity, I missed out on. I think it's coming to Shudder.
Yeah,
It's
the latest IFC movie.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah, it's about a medium who is going to investigate her sister's murder. Who she's blind, so it's pretty rad.
Ooh, and that's on Shudder.
Yeah, it will be this month. I think I forget what day it's dropping, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out this month. It's by I don't know if you saw the movie Caveat. It's from the same director.
Dang, I watched that. I'll have to rewatch the one. Yeah, I definitely gotta look out for Oddity. There's a lot of movies coming out
There's
that I
so
got.
many, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, there really is. It's so hard to keep up on, and that's one reason why I like ScreenBox too. Is the screen we get screeners and we can watch them whenever we want, before the public can see it. Because usually when things start dropping on there, it's everything else is coming out. Like Terrifier 3 is coming out. A bunch of other movies I think are dropping this month and early next month. But yeah, this film has just been absolutely amazing. You guys have been absolutely awesome, and I'm so excited for the public to see this. Like Dustin was saying, I guess another thing I wanted to ask was the influence for the monster. Where did that come from? Did you guys pull that from any movies? Did you guys like have a nightmare of this thing? Like, where did it kind of come from?
This kind of goes back to 7 years ago. I was trying to like create something that kind of resembled Halloween. I wanted it to have a feel of a jack-o'-lantern. I always knew I wanted it to have the glowing eyes. And a buddy of mine back in New York, he was a mask maker, and he makes Michael Myers masks.
Oh, okay.
So one day we're just like, you know what? That's what they did to make the Michael Myers mask. They took another one and messed with it. And so we took a Michael Myers mask, and we just kind of started tweaking it. Actually, do I have no, I don't have the original one up here. But we took a Michael Myers mask and we just started kind of messing with it, trying to make it look different. And actually, well, this one kind of works. So this one,
he's wearing pants. I'm not, so that's okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry if you just got a. So this one you never see on camera. We use this for the short film, but this.
Oh, okay.
And so this was just a Michael Myers mask, and we just started like messing with it and kind of made its own shape. This one has a lot.
Wow, you guys did so much to that to make it not look like it at all. Because I have a bunch of Michaels over here, and I'm like trying to look at that to see where can I see any remnants of it. And you guys did a really good job of making it into something.
So it started with this, and so this one, like I said, you never see. And so then we toyed with another variation of the mask, and we used that for the short film. I don't know if you guys have watched that.
No, I'm gonna have to now.
No, where can I find it?
That's just up on YouTube, just Creeping Death film.
Okay.
So we like that idea. I always want to have the glowing eyes. In the short film, he's got like a different kind of outfit. My idea was just like he's taking whatever he can find, or it's taking whatever it can find. Because in the short film, you'll see it's a little bit different, but that was definitely the short film is where we were playing with ideas for the feature. But when it came down to the feature, we actually had a mask designer design a brand new mask that was all original. But we said, look, we want the glowing eyes, we want the open mouth, we want it to feel like it's almost hollow underneath. And as far as the costume goes, we were just we wanted something that kind of felt Celtic, and we wanted something that also felt like it was putting it together from its resources around them. And so our costume designer, Stacy Smith, actually, like we wanted to have like a cool, like a leather jacket, not typical leather, like, you'd wear to a rock show, but like something that
battle vest. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But, but something that was like, oh, he just went and like skinned a deer or something and whatnot. And like, we knew he couldn't afford leather. And so she just went and found an old ratty leather couch on the side of the road and ripped off all the leather and then used.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
And so it was just kind of like, Pumpkinhead was obviously like a monster that I always wanted to. I mean, I didn't want to mimic that, but that was my inspiration as far as like, I don't want to say the look, but just something that felt like it could play in that world with it. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. And like thinking back, and because I'm a huge Pumpkinhead fan, it's like in my top 5, and I can feel that in like this movie for Creeping Death. I really can.
Oh yeah. When we met with the first meeting I had with our monster actor, Alan Maxon, I was like, I kind of have ideas on how I'd like the creature to move and stuff, and even forward thinking, I know how I'd want him to move a little bit next time. But I was like, what do you have in mind? He's like, I think it's like a mix of Pumpkinhead and Predator. And I was like, fine, do it. And he gets up, we're at a Starbucks having a meeting, and he like starts walking through Starbucks in this weird way. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you nailed it. That's great. Pumpkinhead and Predator, let's go.
Hell yeah, dude. And the presence that the creature has on screen is pretty frightful. I love how he's like slowly revealed, how you get the hands and then you get like the shirt and then you start seeing more, and then that silhouette of like the eyes, like it was like one of the stills that was sent to us from SCREAMBOX, and you see the glowing eyes and you're like, oh, we're in for a ride right now, and we definitely are in for a ride.
That was one of my favorite parts, is when the kid with the aviator hat gets rocked in the back of the head. and then he gets up and he's like all disoriented, and we don't get he's looking at the monster, but we don't get like a full reveal. It's because he's like cross-eyed because he just got knocked in the back of the head. I loved that. I loved that it was almost like a tease at that point of us getting to see him, and we didn't see him till like almost like 10 minutes later. And when we got the big archway reveal that's in like the promo image, that is fucking striking. It's really good. But that's my favorite part, man. I love when the reveal of this creature is amazing. It's very good.
Thank you. That was, just me thinking about like, Jaws. Jaws did it the best. Not showing the shark till the end and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to. It's not going to be scary if you see the monster in like the first kill. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now
sure.
Looks like I felt like it would lose its suspense if we showed it too early on. So I'm like, how can we have it there? How can we have the scenes with the monster, but without giving too much away? And that was also a problem for doing we shot the opening scene after. So I'm like, oh my God, we're so good at hiding this thing, but now we need to have an opening kill. How the hell do we do this while showing nothing at the same time?
Just the hands.
Yeah. Yep.
The candy corn.
Here's your candy corn.
That was like when you see if you watch the short film, you'll kind of see like when we did the opening scene, it was like, let's take the best parts of the short and put it into that.
Sure.
Dude, I'm so amped for this now.
Yeah,
more creeping death for us to watch, man.
I'm immediately gonna watch it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, this is a funny question. All right, and I know you guys know it's coming. I know you know it's coming. Did you guys want to have Metallica give you the rights for Creeping Death?
I would have loved to get the rights to that song.
Absolutely.
We wanted to put that in there. So the name came from the original version of the script, which was awful. It was freaking terrible. The opening scene, and it was an entirely different movie. The original script, because I had never written anything before. I was just writing and go out and shoot stuff.
Sure.
So the opening scene, I was like, oh, it should just be like two dudes like driving down the car on some back road, and they're about to get into an accident because they're distracted listening to a song, and it was kind of like a Jeepers Creepers type thing where like, and so I was like, what's a good song that could kind of be symbolical, of the whole movie and whatnot. And so in the opening scene, they're like driving their car, and all of a sudden the bridge to Creeping Death comes on, and they're just like rocking out.
Yeah.
My friends and I, actually, Tyler and I almost freaking got in a car crash coming back from a Metallica show a couple years ago. So,
oh shit!
I just saw them a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing.
They're amazing.
Was Ice Nine opening for them?
Yep.
Yeah, they're so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that band so much. That's who we saw them with a couple years ago. So the opening scene had Creeping Death in the soundtrack, and this is before I knew about getting rights and stuff to things. I was like, oh, I probably can't put that song in the movie. I'm like, well, maybe I can do a cover of it. Like I've released covers of other songs and stuff like that, but I've also never put covers in a movie before.
Yeah.
So
Drowning Pool has a cover of it.
It'll probably be cheaper.
I've heard Stone Sour's version of it, which I like, but I'm like, I don't know if we can do that, and I don't really know where it will fit. But I lost the song and changed this, got rid of the scene, but kept the name. It just kind of, it wasn't even supposed to be the name of the movie. It just kind of stuck.
What was the original title?
Well, no, that was the original title. It wasn't supposed to. I wanted to change it. It was just a running title.
Well, I think it's a great title. Like, regardless, even if people like try to make that Metallica connection or whatnot, I think this Creeping Death alone, it's like you're getting yourself into a ride. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I didn't. There's one movie out there called Creeping Death that I didn't know about until recently. It's like a Western from the 70s.
Yes, I think I saw that on IMDb or something when I was like looking this up. Like that was also on there. I was like, what? Oh, that's weird. But two different genres, and it's fine.
I'd be curious if somebody tries watching this now but puts that on instead.
That's a good way to trick people.
What just
Yeah.
what just had that happen to them? There was it was a movie like somebody really didn't like or somebody really loved, and they went and like thousands of people went to like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes and like left reviews, and it shot up because of the interactions it was getting.
Well, Adam Green's Frozen, and then you had Disney's Frozen.
Yeah, that's true.
Was it that?
I don't
Something-
know.
I don't know,
Something
but
just recently happened.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it. I saw people talking about it, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Man, okay. But yeah. That's wild. I should have a quick question. Are we gonna see the Ishii in another universe, maybe? Like, do you think there's someone that would interact with?
Wink, wink. Is there a wink, wink there?
I would love to see this monster out there with other monsters one day. You know, it would be cool to see the world with Art the Clown and you know, in Dishi, now that we're kind of under, I guess, the same label in a sense.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would love to see more of this creature. I would, you know, I have other ideas on where this can go. I'd love to see more crossover movies coming. You know, since Freddy versus Jason, I can't think of another movie we've gotten like that. So I guess we'll see where, you know, if people like this enough, where that could take us. So
Hell
I
yeah.
can absolutely see this universe and the barn like living together. You know what I mean? Like it definitely fits. But Mikey wanted me to ask because he noticed something, and then I noticed something a little bit later. Your character did he have a Cult of Thorns tattoo?
Yeah,
Or do
dude, I was
you
just
have-
gonna say
okay,
that because I saw
okay.
it again. I didn't know if it was like for the movie purpose or if it
didn't-
was actually real.
I didn't
Yeah.
either.
it was so originally when I wrote this thing, that was the symbol, was the Cult of Thorn.
Oh, nice.
That they were marking, and I wanted to do that, and in the short film we did do that. And then
Okay.
the more I started researching like you know, ancient runes and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I don't think it actually stands for Halloween. I think that was just something they used for the franchise. And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, you know, I want to change it. So the mark we actually used was the mark of the harvest.
Okay.
Okay.
And so that's why we changed it. So I heard in your review that you guys were asking about that. But yeah, that's the mark of the harvest. And with Halloween being the end of the harvest, I was like, you know, that feels like a good way to separate ourselves from what that is.
Yeah.
But then I obviously couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mikey was like, yeah, I seen a Cult of Thorns tattoo, and then I could have sworn like when we're getting the lore from the book, there's like a silhouette, not a silhouette, like a vignette of like a hand reaching out to grab something, but that's like a fingerless glove and an orange jumpsuit. I was like, are they about to tie something in? Because that would be
love-
tight.
And I would love to tie something like that in. So, but the idea is that there are multiple monsters out, you know, Ishii out there, and they're all
Okay.
costumes, and they're all creating their own.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
And so, and my goal with this movie was to put orange in like every shot, almost every shot. And so, but yeah, no, there's supposed to be, and I hope I set it up properly. In the last shot of the whole film, you kind of see that there's multiple creatures out there, and they're all kind of different looking. Yeah.
No, that's now that you explained to us how the Ishii's like why they wear what they wear, that makes perfect sense. Like it's what they find. I think that's a great idea. Like they're not all gonna look the same, which is fucking rad.
Right. Yeah, and the, you know, and the lore of the Ishii too, like for me, that really struck me. And when I started trying to make this, there was not a lot of information out there. I was doing so much research on them. Now that I go online, there's so many new articles about what they look like and what they're, you know, what they're supposed to look like. And there was nothing when I was like writing this. There was very little information out there that I could find, which made me feel like it was kind of an open playground to do what we wanted with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm seeing like some new kind of literature coming out about them. I'm like, oh, all right, well, I guess we're a little bit different, but
Hey,
what?
you started the trend.
Right. Yeah. We just,
There it
almost,
is.
you know what? It's a movie. We wanted to create something fun, take some lore, like, it was inspired by the lore, and we kind of took it and ran with it and, twisted it into, what could be a horror movie.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, man. And it worked. This movie is amazing. We say it a lot throughout this interview, but it's true. Um, one thing I want to ask, and Tyler, I'll start with you, is do you have a favorite scene of this film?
Oh man.
Don't
There's
So
a, there's a lot of good
And
ones.
you can't say all of it.
No.
I really love the cold opening.
Mm,
How that all just came about. I flew to LA and shot it with Matt, and just that whole experience is just has a special place in my heart. And I'm so damn proud of our opening kill. I really am. That was such a fun experience, and I just to hear you guys, say that it's rad, it means so much to us because that was just like we need something, and it was a really fun collaboration with Matt on that. So.
hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. What about you, Matt? You got a favorite?
one of one of the first scenes that I'll tell you my least favorite.
Yeah,
But
sure.
my favorite scene, the one that really stuck out to me before I had anything else, was where I go upstairs with a knife.
Mm,
That was always, I don't know why. When I read, because I walked away from this project for a while. Didn't think I would come back to it, but it was always like on my mind because it was just something I worked on for so long and never just saw through to the end. And then this scene where, like, this person that's supposed to be the hero of the film, like, we never really see a movie where, like, the hero, I guess,
Yeah.
having to turn and do something terrible.
yeah.
And can they come back from that? And so I was like, I feel like that could be a really good moment for a horror movie that we haven't really seen before. And so I immediately, like, I had it all figured out in my head as I was writing. I knew exactly how I wanted the camera to move. I know how I wanted the sound design or the lack of sound design in a certain scene to go. And that scene when I go up there with the knife is probably my favorite. I think that's for me, that's some of the, everybody may think otherwise, but for me, I feel like that's some of my best work that I've created is that scene to me.
Yeah.
And it's more than just the acting part. You had your hands in all of it. That makes plenty sense.
Yeah, it was like I said, never want to get that involved in a project.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to kind of piggyback off that because that scene we talked about it, I think, at length in our review of just like how things are playing out, and like the way that I was interpreting it was like you were being so peer pressured into doing this one thing that obviously you don't want to do. No one wants to be in that situation, right? No one wants to be like, I have to go kill my mother. Like this, you just thinking that or even saying that is insane.
Right.
And yeah, building up to that, going and being in the room and just standing there, like I watching it, I was like, "There's no way he's gonna do. There's no way if he does this, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to look at him as the hero that he's building himself to be." And like, yeah, you get there, like you're that close. And I was even saying like, I don't know how she didn't cut her neck for how
By
close
turning, yeah.
that blade was. I was like, oh my God. I was so tense watching that. I was like, this is insane. I'm like, I thought that she died. I thought you actually killed her. I was like, wow, this movie just like ramped up even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole scene it's really sad, but also seeing how you come out of it and being like, yeah, no, like fuck you guys, I'm not doing this. Like we'll find a different way, as
Dude.
you should be finding a different way.
All right. I guess we're gonna lead right into me because I'm gonna bring him up, man. Being peer pressured. So
Here we go.
I was talking in our review with Dustin, like when the Ishii's on the ground, when they deflate, right? And you have your buddy walks over and Three Stooges him right in the eyes. He got got the burn marks. In my brain, I'm like, something's gonna come of that. I'm like, I assumed the way he was acting and the way he just flipped the switch, was like, yeah, go kill your mom. That he was becoming one of these creatures. And I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. And then now how you were explaining to me like how everyone's different and they wear different clothes. I'm like, that could work. I don't know how these creatures become.
Hmm.
But I thought that's what that was leading. But no, he was just an asshole. But
Yeah.
that was my favorite part is when he got hooked up in the mouth. I loved that. Like that ruled. And just getting to watch all of it happen, the interaction. It was almost like it was very intimate because how the creature was like literally face to face with him. And this kid's like trying to plead for his life and whatever. And that the creature's having none of it. So I just didn't know if like that's where that was leading, is if he was going to eventually become one of these an Ishi, but no, I'm just a jerk wanting you to kill your mom, man.
That's an interesting take. Yeah, I love hearing like everyone's like different opinions on kind of like how they think that it all went. A lot of people think I killed everybody. I've heard people say like, so are you the killer in this movie? And
That, oh yeah, okay, I'll touch on
There you
that
go.
after.
But no, like I like that idea of like potentially having him turn, but no, basically it's like the actual lore is that these creatures, these spirits exist in another world, another dimension. It's like on Halloween they're able to walk the earth, and again they can only like be on our plane until the harvest ends, and then Halloween. But that would be cool to find. To almost have something kind of like you said, maybe not like turn, but maybe they get infected with something if they
like they become part of, or yeah, a good word is infected. Like they essentially just, I don't want to say a familiar, but you know what I mean? Like somebody who's walking the earth plane for them while they can't be here.
right.
Yeah.
You're having them think now. We're gonna have Creeping Death 2 script next week.
There it is.
Not next week. Not next week.
But I'm gonna send you guys my show's review, and I just wanted to bring up Mikey's point on the mom part. He was thinking like when like you were walking up there with the knife and you went to go do it, that she had already passed like during that situation, and he's like, now he's like, man, that would have been wild because now they're doubling down on the dread because at that point he didn't have the choice to do it, so.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, I'm just
Creeping
thinking,
Death 3, Mother.
Copyright this stuff. Gotta get that copyright.
I would love to do a sequel. Love to do a third one.
Yeah.
If there is enough people that like this, I'd love to do it. I mean, I know with this one, like, I'm so glad that it's finally getting out there. It's getting the release it is, but it's like, for me, working on it for so long, it's like all I can see is the things that I wish I did different. I know how we could have made it even better. So I'm like, if we get that chance to do it again, do it bigger, better. And these are some good ideas. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, if I went up there and she was dead, what would my character do after? Come down and be like, yeah, no, I did it. Yeah, no, we'll say it.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, we're all good guys. Go home.
Yeah,
it's over.
But would it have counted because it wasn't a sacrifice? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm wondering. Is like, in my mind, I'm thinking, no, it wouldn't have counted. So they must think they're safe, but then Monster wrecks us all anyways. But then I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of assholes, again, the love interest at the end of this movie, man. I'm like,
yeah.
Me and Dustin were both
the way that
bewildered
turned,
by the heel turn that happened. We're like, dang. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I felt betrayed, Matt. I felt betrayed. I put so much interest and be like, this girl is great. The lead up of this, like, she's totally on his side. There's nothing bad that's gonna happen. Yeah, she might die, but what she does, I was like,
that'll happen. She might die. Sorry.
I was just like, what did I felt like I got whiplash. I was like, there's no way that she just did what she just did.
Oh man.
It was amazing writing. Amazing writing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
May or may not have pulled from some personal experiences, that one.
Ooh.
But,
I mean, yeah, man. Life sucks sometimes.
He's like, but it wasn't a cornfield.
It wasn't a cornfield. There wasn't a knife, but
okay.
It felt like a knife.
No.
I should call her.
Anyways. But
no,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go.
I was just gonna bring up because we've been talking about Adam Green and stuff like that. Because I've had an interaction with him and it was amazing. And anytime I talk to anybody about audio commentary, I always bring up the show Holliston.
Yes.
And I told him this. I'm like, dude, I love audio commentaries because I like hearing the passion behind it. I like hearing everything because his audio commentary starts on the first episode and ends at the beginning of the second episode of the first. I'm like, that's a lot of talking because it's a lot that he cared about.
Mhm.
And he looked at me. He goes, "Oh, I guess you just want me to stop talking." I'm like, "No, dude, I love it." So I really like audio commentaries are my absolute favorite too because I could watch the movie 100 times, but I would have never have known that these creatures pick up whatever clothes they want to put on. Like, why do they look like that? Only you guys have those answers, So I dig that a lot, and I hope when the physical comes out that there is a commentary track.
I definitely want to do. I want to load it up with a lot of bonus features.
Awesome.
I tried shooting this thing twice before.
Oh, wow.
One on an iPhone. I have footage from when it was on iPhone. Terrible, so I never done anything, but I have the footage. When I was in film school, I started shooting it. We shot 14 of 16 days. This was 5.5 years ago.
Wow.
This footage that I just have never done anything with. And I'm kind of glad because it's not the best looking footage, but it was a great proof of concept, great test footage. But I'd love to make some sort of, little documentary if there's interest in it and showing how it started off is literally nothing, just a couple iPhone videos I had and how we progressively got better and better and better to here's the final thing. And, just would love to make a jam-packed bonus features disc for a Blu-ray.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think
Can't wait.
just doing that anyway of putting out like a behind the scenes on any kind of whether it be Blu-ray or DVD, whatever you guys end up releasing this on. Because like I said early on, like learning about where things began with, with Tyler and yourself, like seeing a process of a film for people who want to make something, especially in film, I think it's the best thing for somebody to watch or to hear and be like, okay, so they started here and they know, okay, my first concept is going to look like shit. Like there's absolutely no way that's going to be pristine and looking like these big budget AAA movies. Absolutely no way. So I want to watch that. And I can imagine a lot of other people who want to make films, whatever. And if they love this movie, which I know that they will, they definitely gonna want to see like how this started. Where did they get from here? How did they get these practical effects to look so amazing? How did the writing become so good? How did the lighting? Because the lighting in this movie is fantastic. Amazing. There's not like one shot that's too dark or too bright. I didn't have to mess with any of my settings on my TV. Sometimes I have to with some movies that come out. I'm like, too dark, too light. Also with the volume, I felt like you guys had a great audio balance throughout the entire thing. There was nothing too loud, nothing too quiet. I watch things with subtitles on, like even if I can hear it. So it's good to know
I can't hear
that
without my subtitles.
yeah, literally. So you guys checked all these boxes for it being your first like big feature film and going on a big streaming service for a lot of people to watch and for you to be in Fright Fest. You guys legit nailed it out of the park. And I want to see more from both of you. I really do.
I just got to give a shout out to our casting crew. I mean, everybody brought their A game to this project, and without any of them, we wouldn't be here today. So,
yes, hell yeah, man! Everybody did amazing in here, even the people that we hated throughout this film.
Yeah,
we really hated him.
He did his job. It made me not like this character. I loved it.
Love to hate them.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
God, the mandible claw right in the mouth.
That's the thing. It's like, going into it, I was like, it's rare. Like, I love the Friday the 13th movies, right? But it's like, there's a lot of them where I'm just like, some of these characters, I'm like, I don't remember who that is. If they die, cool, whatever. Let's just watch a gore gag happen. Where it's like, then there's, other movies or other Friday the 13th movies where it's like, you want to watch that character get ripped apart.
Yeah.
And that was like, I want people to have some sort of if I did my job right, I wanted people to have some sort of feeling towards these characters, whether it's good or bad. At least they want to see something happen, as opposed to, oh, we're just watching somebody do something. Oh, and they're dead now. Okay, well, there's that character gone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, they all did a fantastic job. So honestly, the cast really elevated like my performance too. I was so nervous working with a lot of these people because they had a lot more acting experience than I did. And you know, while I was worried about just the camera and a million other things going on, they'd be sitting there blocking the scene. They'd be like, Matt, what do you think of this? And I'm like, oh my God, I never even thought of trying to do this scene this way. And they just kind of put it together. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, this is how the camera's going to work. So let's use that. Let's twist this. And, you know, and that's how it would all come together. So, I mean, they were fantastic, and it definitely helped me level up my performance.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I want to touch on that I was thinking after the fact, and you kind of highlighted, well, brought it up earlier, that people thought that you were killing everybody. So what I thought at the end of this, when you're in the back of the ambulance with your dad, and he's like, there's nobody here. I thought everything was happening in your mind, that you just wandered. You were just like, so like, I don't know, just upset or broken or with your mom, and just realizing that literally like your world's crumbling, that you just somehow like managed to just wander so far from your house, and that your dad found you, and he was just like, there's nobody here. I thought that, I was like, if that is what they were planning, great. But I mean, everything in this film, like even like during the credits where this other thing starts happening and whatnot, like there's a lot you can pull from this. And there's been a lot of theories, like you were saying, and especially the one I'm saying now. I think there's so many possibilities that you guys could go, or you could have went when you were making this film.
Yeah, absolutely. That with the ending, that's exactly kind of, we wanted the other characters to think that maybe I did this to myself. Like, really what we're trying to say is that, you know, it was these monsters that took these bodies into their world with them. That's their stuff like that. So that's why the bodies aren't there. No one else is finding them. Was it this character that did it? So I want the characters to really think that I'm this messed up person now. But I was, you know, but then we have that final shot where you can see all the eyes kind of looking back. But, you know, just one more reminder that, you know, they're still out there.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Typically there's no survivors, but in this instance, there is one. So that's the dread we're feeling. So
yeah, there's not enough final boys. It's always final girls.
That's what I'm saying. Final
That's
boy
true.
summer. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hell
So
yeah.
the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on was this Uber driver that you guys had.
That seems so good.
Oh, I loved it, dude. Like the fact that the sheer obliviousness that this character had, watching this guy getting suplexed onto a cross over there, and the fact that he was more worried about a 5-star review than escaping was amazing. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I just want to have some comic relief in this movie, because it's like these characters, you know, I'm thinking, okay, if I've never Ubered or anything, but if I'm driving out on Halloween night and I'm Ubering, I'm imagining I'm probably dealing with, you know, drunk people going crazy all night. I'm seeing other people in costumes doing shit. If people get in my car and start saying this guy is trying to kill us, I'm probably gonna think too, like, okay, whatever, dude. Like, sure, you know, that's how I feel I would react. I don't think I'd be like, oh my God, you 5 people that are really hysterical are really getting chased by some. I don't know. I thought it'd be a nice kind of break in tension.
It worked. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that and I was also like, how do we get these characters out of here? Like, I knew I wanted them to get from point A to point B. I knew I wanted them to end up at the pumpkin patch in the cornfield. And like, how do they get there? I'm like, if they run there, it's stupid, because this thing is, you know, we see it kind of teleporting.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how do they get there? His car is shot, so it'd be stupid if they get back in the same car they just ran out from.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? In typical movie fashion, someone just happens to drive by. And it's always like a trucker that's like, how can I help you? And then they just go and they don't ask any questions. I'm like, no, hell no. Let's stop in this moment while all the monsters come after them.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, it was that scene was going to be so much more brutal too. In the script, he gets it worse.
The Uber driver?
Oh no, no. Well, yeah.
Oh,
him-
the friend that gets the backbreaker.
The asshole.
Originally, there were like 3 different gags that were going to happen to him. So he was going to get, stabbed through the jaw, but we were going to put the whole hand through his mouth.
Oh yeah.
What we wanted to do was kind of like this, and then have the monster's hand move his
Oh my
Like a
God.
puppet. That's cool.
as he's still like running his mouth and stuff. And so drag him out, slam him over that, and then he's still alive, kind of pleading for help. And then the monster just rips his jaw out and then stabs his head with the jaw. And so we cut away from that. We just didn't have the resources to pull that off.
Sure.
And so we cut away without seeing what happened. But yeah, he was going to get it way worse.
We'll look forward to the Sampere cut.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring him back for part 2 and do all that.
I'll find it. I'll find it. Dude, man, there's so much we wanted to do with this one that just never made it to the
Sure.
script. That I'm hoping we can really try and step up in kind of Evil Dead 2 a sequel and really show exactly what he intended. So
There you go.
the car scene in general with the monster on the car and everything, it was such a bigger scene. I was like, if we shoot this the way I want to, the way it's written, we've got a scene here that, I hate to say like a scene that could live in horror history, but like this scene, every time somebody read it, they're like, okay, this is cool. We need to shoot it like that. And then when it came down to trying to shoot it that way, I'm like, we don't have money.
Unfortunately, that's always the thing that halts a lot of good imagination is money.
Yeah.
Like I can't crash a car through a house on this budget. That won't.
Next time.
What's that over there?
Why we
Oh,
have
man.
insurance, right?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, this has been a blast, guys, and hearing
yeah.
about some more behind the scenes and seeing where kind of everything came from. Also hearing that this was a 7-year project. That's insane for how polished this really is, and you can like really feel the love and see where it was going from and where it's going, because we definitely want to see more. I definitely want to see more. But one last thing I want to ask is there anything that either you or Tyler are working on right now that you can speak upon?
Tyler, what do you got going on?
Creeping Death 2,
Moving
Creeping
out
Death
to LA.
3.
We got some stuff in the works.
Okay.
We're working on right now. Our executive producer Jason Goldberg, him and I have been working on right now. It's an idea for a short. We were looking at potentially trying to shoot another feature this year,
Okay.
but we just realized that's probably a little bit too much to handle. So we're looking at trying to create another short film right now that could live in the same world as this.
Okay.
Okay.
But there's a lot of ideas for scripts for a sequel. Like I said, I'd love to do a sequel soon if the interest is there, because I have 2 different ideas on where we could go with this. I have another movie. It's a Halloween themed movie, but it has nothing to do with this lore. There's actually with the book, my whole idea, if this was to really take off, is have the book kind of be like the key to all these other films that could exist in the same world of different lore that takes place on Halloween. And so I have an idea for a movie that I want to be able to talk about it, but I can't. But it would be like a $5-10 million idea, and I know we're probably not going from a movie like this to getting $10 million.
You never know.
But I want to
Never
write
know.
the script and have it ready, and just have just keep creating and trying to do shorts and stuff like that, and again just really push this thing. So yeah, there's always something happening.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad to hear that, because you both definitely, have an eye for this, and the world needs more original, creative, fun things, especially in the indie world. Like I was saying earlier, some people just kind of throw things together just to hope that it sticks. But this one, it's amazing. Like if I didn't know it was an indie film, I would be like, what studio made this?
Thank you guys so much.
Means
Seriously.
a lot. Seriously, you guys even inviting me to join on this chat today, like, thank you.
I had to, man. You're liking all our stuff, and I saw you were tied with the project. I'm like, Tyler, you got to come on, man.
Yeah.
You got to come join this chat because
And-
you know you did a lot behind the scenes.
And that's the one thing I love about the independent film scene is you guys interact with, you know, the podcasters, the people who enjoy your stuff. And I love that. I love talking to you guys through Twitter, through Instagram, and getting opportunities like this, you know, like in my podcasting career, I never thought I'd be doing this. You know what I mean? Like it was just one of those things where we reach out and we get turned down, reach out, get turned down. But that's what I love about the indie scene, man, is you guys are just two dudes that love horror movies like us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's sick, man. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you guys were our audience. I'm like, I want to make something that horror fans will enjoy. You know, and maybe something that if you're not a horror fan, you'll get it too. But I'm like, you know, I want to make a movie that like my friends would want to watch if we were sitting down together on a Saturday night and just needed something to put on.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that, you know, you guys dug it because we didn't know if anybody would. We didn't know if this would appeal to anybody.
Oh man, we love it, and we got 7 days until we can hear everybody else talk about how much they love it too.
Yeah. And then when you hear my review, Mikey said he loved it too. So there's
Oh,
three people in a row.
Tyler and I are always like, I told Tyler,
We can go now. We
That's
don't have
it.
to-
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to be my shield, Tyler. I'm like, if there's, don't send me anything if it's gonna make me want to go hide in my closet for like a year.
Man. If you hear that stuff, it's people just trying to bait reactions, which you know happens a
Yeah.
lot. But I wouldn't be too worried about those because it's fun slasher. It's a supernatural slasher, and there's not that many out there that are good. For where this came from and the lore that you're building and that you found and now are finding more to add to the repertoire of whatever you want to do next with this is amazing. And I thank you both for taking some time out of your day to
Absolutely.
come talk to both of us. I can't wait for this to come out. I'm going to try to get this released around the same time it's going to be coming out on SCREAMBOX so people can get a little bit of behind the scenes before they watch it or after.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for having us. Seriously,
It means
This-
so much to us.
Hell yeah. And anytime you want to come on and talk movies, we're here.
For sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
we are always down.
Hell yeah, man. You got my email
Yeah.
now, and I think we're following everybody on all the socials and friends wherever we need to be. So we'll be reaching out 100%.
Awesome. Keep in touch, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
for
you,
sure.
Matt. And thank
Yeah.
you, Tyler.
Later, guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Later.